Fire, what you saying?
Yes, fire key, give thanks to life as usual, you know?
No, serious thing. We are here again, Ballhead and the Dread podcast. And I want to say we really appreciate everyone been supporting the thing, streaming the thing, downloading it, sharing it. We really give thanks and hopefully we'll try our best to give you reasons that's on the heights to make you think, make you look at life at a different perspective. Also make you uncomfortable. Why make you uncomfortable? Because that's what I mean.
Straight.
Some people tell me the reason to make them uncomfortable, and that is a good thing, Maybe the
Mm-hmm.
core values that you have need to be shaken up and questioned. Not necessarily saying you got to change the whole vibe, but if it's making uncomfortable, maybe there's something in there that kind of needs to be reapproached, right? Also, make sure you check out the Breaking EP there in the description. Also, he has a music video there, blazing the airways. Make sure you check us out every Sunday, WLOI.org. I Never Knew Radio with yours truly, Junior, aka the Ballhead, spinning roots rock reggae music. And Conscious Tea. Make sure you support us there. Link is in the description there. We have some vibes coming. John Henrik Clark is on the way. So once it's available, I will let the people know. All right, what we're reasoning about today.
Yeah, well, today the reason is an interesting one too, because we are reasoning about the percentage of black males to black females in America. And then we are reasoning about a whole heap of different things where affect the statistics, affect the census, where we would have find most accurate, supposed accurate website the same way. So I could dig in it now.
Serious thing, far right, and I'll kickstart it in the sense that so from what we know right now, right, it's 41 million black people in America, so they say, right? Statistics are a very tricky thing. It's not hard to manipulate statistics. It's not hard to skew them in a way that you want them to portray a certain message to the public. And I'm not here. The purpose of this reason is not to attack, all right, or necessarily criticize statistics, but there is a statistic in there that's very alarming, very, what we would say, uh, discouraging, and also very dangerous if we analyze it. And that's the route I want to go. So we have 49 million black people, right? I want to be clear. At birth, it's actually more boys than girls, right? So that is across the board when you look at all these different reports, they do acknowledge that there's a consistency there, right? There's also a consistency where that age between 18-35, that's where things start to change dramatically in regards to the population. You start to have an immense decrease amongst the males and an increase in the females. At age 65, 60, 65, now that's when the proportion is the biggest, obviously. That's with most groups, especially in America. Even with white people, you do have a decrease in the males and an increase in the females. But for black people, if I go way off, where I think it's over 60 and in the high 30s or 40s in regards to the black population, 60 female, 40 something high 30s males. Why is this why is this the issue and what is the cause of this, right? The first thing is this. That the initial thing where most people say fire, I believe you said you saw it also where it says that 8%. So it's like for every uh 10 females, there are 8 males, right? That's the thing. That's
Yeah.
that's totally off. That number is actually higher than what they provide to the public. Reason being, out of that 10, and we're dealing with family structure, we're dealing with community. I want to be clear. Sorry I didn't clarify that. This is dealing with the possibility of people cohabitating, reproducing, having a family, right? The availability of men to women is much less than what they profess because we have to factor in those who are unemployed, those who are unemployable, those who are homosexuals, those with mental illness. I know we have the term home nesters, but what do you refer to the children that don't leave the home? What is that called? I don't know what that one is called, but you have some men that just like fire, they never leave their parents' house and they never have any sense of independence. So I say maybe non-independent men, right? We have those who see what's going on and just choose the life of a womanizer, right? It's like, what's the point? There's so many women available to one man. What else do we have in that category? We have uneducated, We have the famous one. I'm leaving it out. Incarcerated and those who have been in the system. That is the highest proportion, and we have those who are obviously no, I think that's the last one. I just want to talk about the prison thing because that's the most famous one people speak about majority of the time, right? If you notice in our media, they love to show you a story of a person who went to prison, he got out, reformed his life, and doing great things. The reason they show you that because that doesn't happen. Like that's a Hollywood story. For whatever reason, they use that to take away from the torment and the destruction of the prison industrial complex, right? So what happens to the average person? This economy is kind of not reflecting that accurately because people aren't working. It's so easy to get a job. But if the economy was normal, where there was a certain level of competition, those with degrees and master's degrees can't find work. So how the heck a man with a felony gonna find a job? A man with a felony, especially if he doesn't have any skills or education. So the average prisoner and anyone who has been in the system can attest to this. It's very hard to find a livable wage fire. We got to make sure we put in that word there. Because a lot of times when we deal with employment, people just deal with the fact that you get up and leave your house and go somewhere and receive a check. But regards to livable wage, because without the livable wage, you'll be pushed to get back into a life of crime because that's what you're doing in the first place, fire for survival. I'm not talking about killing fire. I'm talking about hustling and doing criminal activity or what the system views as criminal to generate money. They're not doing it because they want to. And if you talk to the average man, he don't want to do it. But if he has responsibilities and the job that he qualifies for doesn't provide it, he'll deal with that. Then with those statistics put in place now, I would argue to say it's like 6 to 5.5 to 10, 6 to 10, right? Then this man laughing. But moving moving forward, you want to jump in before I
Yeah,
touch the
cause,
next part? Go ahead.
cause if I break it down point by point, I would say we talk about the jail. I know enough people find it to be some form of conspiracy theory when time one's mentioned how the system out for black males as it relates to prison. It's no form of theory, because it's a real it's a actual thing, And if anybody observe the system, them can tell that fire because the rate of a black male recidivism compared to any other race twice as high to. I mean, not talk about the facts. I them basically fill the prison population, knowing that them are supposedly the minority when it comes to the numbers in the country itself. And we've realized because the way the system structure is that it want the black man to think nothing of himself. And so when time him think nothing of himself now, then him can be loosey goosey and him do anything we want to do. And then pan top of that now, the system itself now fill the black youth them with ego. So they fill them with ego now and tell them say these are the part of them supposed to take. Then we feel like them are gonna know. Them just build the system and the prison industrial complex come and soup them away. So them think there's no form of conspiracy theory. These are all practical things. And anybody we want to debate that. I don't really think it debatable at this particular point because there's so much different proof. Even with a real book like the new Jim Crow, it's a book where break it down and analyze it and show you. So after getting them particular knowledge there, I feel like nobody's supposed to even debate them fact there. And that, as I say, one of the main reasons. Remember again, too, we even bring in the whole concept of the welfare reason, we talked about recently. And we talked about the fact that they would not make a woman get any form of benefit from the system if a black male is in that house household. And knowing say what separate the black male from the household in most of them cases. So the black male they are prison. So it's like them they don't want the black male for their prison to give the black woman a farmer incentive to make it seem like them are look out for the black woman, but them looking out for the black woman, which is them, when I say them, I talk about the system. The system looking out for the black woman come at a cost of seeing the black man in a prison. So that alone show there them says no farmer conspiracy. And that's a one thing as they say that dwindle down the whole population itself now. And I make the pool get scarcer and scarcer for the black woman them overall.
And I want to add one more thing before I move on. There was a report in the 1960s, fire. I think this was before Lyndon Johnson was the president, and the report was breaking down that the only savior for the black household was the black man. Written documentation by government officials. So I wanted to touch on how all this affects the dynamic in the relationship of dating and black family, because that's a big topic and it's a lot of back and forth and putting down of the sexes by each other, right? And one of the things we have to acknowledge that I don't think people are acknowledging is the most basic concepts that just on basic numbers, right? There are not enough black men for black women. I think that's like the most basic thing we just have to start and just clarify, right? Now, I know people have a skewed view of or some weird, I don't know call it weird, but unrealistic view of a spouse that they would like, right? So that's not even a realistic thing. I've been hearing this thing about the 6-figure guy, 6-foot guy, and all this other stuff, right? So let's put that to the side. Let's just deal with people who are like, working, responsible, capable of being around children, that type of vibe. Is not that many. And that's the thing we need to acknowledge. I think the expectation is just unreal. And the fact that the numbers are so off, that's one of the key components in the situation that we're in. For instance, now, right? If we are aware of the importance of a strong male in the lives of both young boys and both young girls, based on the numbers, many people not just gonna have it anyway, fire. Because it's just not enough. All right, just not enough men to go around to provide that for the children, right? Now, when that takes place, now when you constantly have this absence, I don't know if it's survival or what, but there's this whole culture now collectively. This is the thing I dislike. Now, in every culture, you have good people and bad people. Fire. Let's just put that out there, right? You have white men who don't take care of their kids. You have white men who cheat on their wife. You have white men who take care of the kids and vice versa. Help out good dudes, solid dudes, the Indian man, the Chinese man. But when it comes to black people, too many times, especially on public forums, they're collectively putting down all black men. And they need to ease off that. Reason being, the experience that you had or the experience that you have in your demographic, in your circle, we have to keep things in perspective. And I think a lot of people don't have the mental capability to understand their experience is not everyone's experience. And that's what's putting a whole bad label on black people in the sense that, yes, you may have had a bad experience with the man, or the man may be absent, or the man may be abusive, but that's not every black man. And I really learned that in education, fire. I learned that in education as being a black teacher. In my experience, I've taught kids that are 16, 17 that had never had a black male teacher, and they didn't know how to process you. They didn't know how to process you as an intellectual person. They didn't know to process you as a consistent person, as a balance of being both a disciplinarian and a person with nurture, because they just know they either have absence, no experience at all, and they just take the negative whatever things is said about a person, or they take that negative experience and put it onto a next person. And I don't mean to stray from the argue. I want to get back to what I was saying, but
no, but the reasoning valid still enough. I hear the ancestry, but it a connect, because watch this now. There I mentioned the jail. I mentioned a couple of different factors where I make the pool even lower of how much black man did it towards black woman. But when we really sit down and check it, one of the big things them when we see up on the rise, I'm not sure if it definitely not reach the amount of percentage for prison, but with the condescending trait we come with that, we come with a lot of the black woman them now. They mentioned it just briefly a while ago. But it'll get more rampant because with the way all the expectations them set now and the way it designed based off supposed education, it'll get more rampant right now because the system already designed. So it's like when majority of the black women I'm going to a classroom, it designed for them the ideal black man based on the type of standard now where them set from an educational perspective, solely educational too, because if a black man even have a trade to a certain extent, but him don't have a bachelor's degree or a master's degree where the black woman are earned, the black woman look down upon him or ability him for the most part now. So we start see a whole heap of different rising trends with that now, and that in itself to a take away and I would almost say it a shatter the confidence enough for the black man them too. Them not talk about it, because it come like the one them kind of accustomed. Culturally, we are accustomed for keep their feelings there inside a way and not really express their feelings. But on an educational forefront, when the black woman get more education and fear aspiration of what a successful man is itself is something where painted by classroom standards, is a thing where mash up the whole psyche of the black woman herself, but it have a more broader impact when it comes to the thought process of the black man, and not a one thing where I dwindle them down. So it could have even have a connection. If I want even check it more deep, it would have a connection to the wrongdoings itself of a black man too, because expectation were set for him and telling him what makes him somebody and what does not make him somebody. I now again find an excuse for no one, but I just try to put the connection them together same way.
No, you brought up a great point, Farai, right? And I want to say there are cultures there where I know we have social norms in regards to roles of sexes, but I've studied certain cultures. I forgot the one in Africa. I know it's indigenous culture, but the way they did it, they did what was needed. I think it was, I don't know if it was in where Patrice Lumumba from Congo. I don't know. I was reading something about a
Yeah.
group in Congo. I may have it incorrect, and I apologize if I do. But basically, due to colonialism, they saw the situation where they were providing more education to women, less education to men, more jobs to women. In that situation, it was different, where the women were earning more than men, but obviously they were earning less than women. I mean, earning less than white women, but it wasn't that much white women in those positions at the time. But they changed the expectation of each other based on what the situation of society. I think what we've been doing now is that we still have this standard expectation when the ability to do so is no longer there, right? And you mentioned the employment thing or the salary thing with the women. Yes, women are getting more education than men, but it's not reflecting in their salaries across the board with positions. I think women, I'm not gonna say 50, but it's usually around 20 grand less than other white women or other groups. So even though black women are doing very well in the academic circle, they're getting degrees, whether it's grade level from fourth grade, high school, they're um well, let's see. Their strides in education is not being reflected in their income, right? And unfortunately, it's creating a little situation with the family because we have more and more women. This is if you're viewing stuff as building a family. I just want to be clear that everybody not really on that vibe. And some people say, hey, it's just an individual tribe. Nothing matters to them. They're not responsible for anything. What they call it, NOLO or something, LOLO, live your best life or something. Anyway,
YOLO.
YOLO, right? They on this YOLO vibe. And the thing is that I don't know. You have more and more women who, yes, they're moving away from the even idea of having a family, reproducing. They're very focused on their career and their individual tasks. Now you have two types in that category. You may have more, but I'm just going to focus on two types. You have those who, as they follow this path and they're burdened by unfulfillment, some depression, not being happy, they want to change it, and then they want to shift into this whole realm of getting a family, this and that. And they're very discouraged when they go into the pool because unfortunately those who would be available for them or those who would be a good suit are already taken, and they're left with the unemployed that little list there, right? Then you have the others now that they just disregard it on the whole and just want to live their lives. They just want to focus on the career, and I don't think anything is wrong with that, right? But the previous group I just mentioned, I think those are the ones who are online bashing men, right? It's those who have the career, have been doing certain things, but when they want to shift now and have a stable relationship or have a family, they get full of um, anger almost in a sense that what they're looking for is not there. And at least in my personal experience, guys, I know who are solid dudes, who are great people, who are progressive people, who are the cream of the crop, as you would say. Friday taking, yeah. They're married, they have kids, they have stability, they're doing their thing. And and not to say you have men who are in relationships who are good dudes, they're not in relationships. They may not want to be in another relationship, but that pool is even shorter than the original. That pool is even smaller than the original pool, and I think people need to have a different strategy in regards to what they want to do with themselves, have a different understanding of what's taking place amongst the population of black people, specifically black men, and act accordingly. I think unfortunately, and it's unfair to them, but they may have to make an earlier decision on what they want to do with their life. You can't wait. You may have a woman for another race that can just party and do whatever she wanted and experience everyone sexually till she's 40. Then she can settle down and do whatever, and there may be people there for her. But in the black community, unfortunately, that is not the case because the pool is so low due to social economic conditions. And it's not to make excuses, but we have to understand the system is set from education. Black boys are way behind the females. When I say way, I mean way behind the females. And they stay behind as you move forward collectively. Yes, you have a small percentage that's doing their thing, but in regards to the collective, they're really struggling academically. And that ties back into the whole system because we spoke about the struggle of single parenthood. And then before anybody get offensive, yes, you have some women that get through, but majority of women is just overwhelming. It's just too much work. You're just focusing on survival and providing. It's very hard to, give attention to academics and nurturing all those things where you're just so busy. It's just the reality of the situation. So it's like, and not saying too, I want to be clear, not saying because you have a man it's just going to be in the different. You need a solid dude that could assist financially, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually with all these things. So I want to be clear. I'm not going to give the broad thing and say, oh, if you have a man in the picture, everything's sweet. So we want to clear that, right? The whole point is you need a solid dude. And like the child's not getting that thing. Then the child gets older and he reproduces that. And now we just keep, they talk about the cycle. We keep reproducing these behaviors that's not conducive for the growth of black people or the far right. It come like yo, I don't want to say this because I don't want to go too extreme, but it come like an extinction thing gonna take place soon, eventually at some point.
No, well. The only reason why I'm gonna refute the particular claim there because I say we're throwing at the black man already. And I'm knowing myself say, by all means, we're throwing at the black man. In particular, black man supposed to be extinct already still. But
True.
that's the only claims we can use to say, all right, it not gonna go the way there. You see what I say? Because
a different type of resilience.
Yeah, at the resilience alone, we can rely upon because when we really sit down and check it enough, as we say, we look on the pros and we look on the cons, because we not try make no black man who not carry him weight feel like say once this are the reasoning for him just say, all right, yeah, see that this is this is why I am the way I am. No, that's not what we are trying to do. We are trying to show the ones from all different skills. There are certain things that is affecting the relationship itself with black man and black woman. We have to look in a fire because funny enough, you dare talk about social economics status. The average person not even put that into play because when them whoever is for them hero, whoever is for them role model, whoever them see lead a particular life, what them want to live, them not realize say the person, the social economic status affect them. So while them when I see a white person do a particular thing, or them see a person, especially a European, I do a particular thing and things that them can associate with a European in America because they're not from this country. No, the way them set on the social economic scale is totally different from you. And that I realize say a lot of especially the black female them say them gravitate towards the European type of standard and the way of thinking, not realizing say one when I say you have to live your life for farm out these particular expectations or for just develop the society per se, because as human beings, so generally speaking, we have the selfish nature and we have the selfless nature. You see me I say, but we have to understand say every single thing where we do, it is a reflection of these statistics that we are talking about. That just every individual make up them statistics, and people now realize that because them are say numbers, and I think what them now think where these numbers come from. You see me I say, and then it's like what they say when them change their mind now. When them change their mind now, I realize say them get left off our track for the most part. Them start give now, And so when them start giving to certain social norms even more now, just because them feel like say them late and them want to catch up in the race, here's one thing with them do now. Them shatter the confidence of anybody where them come across. As weird as it sound, them shatter the confidence of anybody where them come across because them feel like say them have to drop them standards, then the confidence level of anybody will come mingle with them now. It get altered. It either go get boosted when it's not supposed to get boosted, which is a false thing because it's not everybody confidence if you just say boy you go boost up. So especially if them not do something progressive. Or are the opposite effect where them a belittle one confidence when the person them should have build up the person the confidence or the blackmail the confidence to say, all right, this is a youth we can build with, make we set the thing the way. And then we get for overstand a lot of these expectations when we see them put in some of the woman them is not realistic expectation either. Because them now fulfill for them duty, you know. But them expect said this is a list that I come with. This list must be fulfilled and this must be required because I am the goddess of all goddess. I'm not say I'm not chew on the blame pan a black woman. You know, one day them overstand me saying, but me I talk about the thought process where get regurgitated towards the black woman so much that the black woman at times start for alter fear emotion and fear relationship ethics on them type of standard.
And Farah, I want to say the expectation is distorted on both sides, right? So, and it comes from just not understanding the environment that you're in. You know, like because the media constantly pumps certain things, you're not understanding. You know what, Fire? First of all, it's not a lot of black men to start within the population, right? Then if we break down the ability to earn, you know, so therefore we got to restructure what we're doing now. I think that's the argument. We got to restructure what we're doing. But before we say that, I wanted to say that you mentioned that they're using the European standard, but even that's distorted, Fire. Because check any statistics. White men on a high with the suicide, Fire. White men not doing good general in America. They come like America an anti-male country right now, yeah. So across the board, males are not doing good, whether it's with mental health, employment, education, because the white females have far surpassed white males in regards to education. And it's the same with the black females. So across the board, men are behind women for whatever reason, because many of these systems are set up for women. Education is designed for females, right? You can't ask a man
Yeah,
or
cause meals disposable.
but we know that already. That's a different argument, right? Males are disposable. But in regards to the whole expectation you were saying, Farah, it's just that strategically, right? Strategically, you would have to have a different approach. Um, if you're in a relationship, right, and understands, uh, you know, for whatever reason, you're with a gentleman that can't earn. The gentleman has to do something to provide to compensate for the income, far right. You can't just say, "Oh, I don't earn," and sit around all day. There's something you will have to provide to make the ship work, and I think that's where we're dropping the ball. And everything is just not economics. So it's like you may, all right, say you with your lady, right? And things are going great. Everybody's working, everybody's generating money, right? And one of the people go into a little patch where whatever they're unemployed. There's so many things you can do to assist the ship. Other things would have to be done in regards to restructuring how you spend money to make things work off of this and that. But there are other ways you can make an impact in the family and the ship going, whether it's picking up the kids more, cooking more, doing more this, you know, there's some, but I think it's the vibe where if I'm not working, I just sit around, especially with the men or females too, you know? So I just think there are other ways to contribute that are not acknowledged. Ah, there we go. The other ways to contribute are not acknowledged. And there's a different part of the argument too that, you know, for some reason, maybe it's because of not being exposed to certain males. A lot of females are very bad at picking a mate. They pick people with no potential in regards to positive traits. It's more, I guess, physical appearance and sexual actions. And that seemed to get old real quick. So I think people should, both male and female now, should do a better job of picking a mate and picking people with the characteristics that would lead to long-term stability in the relationship. I think we bypass too many red flags. For instance, if I meet a young lady, right, and I tell her I'm doing this, and she don't see me doing that, why is she believing that I do it for her, right? And I've never demonstrated that I do it. You don't see me with no purpose. You don't see me working. You don't see me doing nothing. You just see me talking. So the thing a very complicated thing, you know. But at the same token, one can argue: how does one know to pick a significant other when they have never seen a healthy relationship, or no one has ever told them how to pick a significant other? The next person could argue too and say, "Hey, when an elder tell you something, you don't want to listen anyway." You may have that elder break it down and say, "Yo, that's the wrong move," but you don't want to hear it.
I know, say that's why of all things, one main plead and main cry when we make every single day, especially at this time. You see, as for black males who are fathers, try by every means possible to make sure say you're fully active in your youth life, because enough of them things are spiral down back to that, you know. I mean, no say it, sometimes it is not necessarily of the male's fault itself, you know, which is what is always portrayed. They say, okay, that's a father who neglect the child. We know there's other factors that go into that too, especially when it comes to the relationships, them not working out, and we feel like say when the relationships them not work out now, all co-parenting skills are lost. That's one of the main things that will really impact and affect Wally per youths both, you know. Especially, sorry, most black youths both, you know, because them parents never work out, so the co-parenting skills gone through the door. And I want to tell people that are one of the main things while you see them have this whole terminology of absentee fathers within the black community. And it's not just neglectful fathers. So I really want change the whole stereotype, their narrative. But in this particular time, it encourage every single youth, every single black man, if you have a youth, make sure you partake in a youth life. Because you see if it's a male you have, if it's a son you have, you can show your son say, this is the particular way, a male for act towards, a female act towards himself and know about himself worth and dignity. And then on top of it now, I realize that the confidence level in a females who never have a father for show them certain things and give them the ultimate love where them can deem as the first love itself. They don't really know how to find a man of stable character, because them still a search to get this their love there. So it's like them searching at a particular time when them don't mature. It bring them back down to a vulnerable state. So every single relationship where them come into play with them so vulnerable in all different things. I mean, vulnerabilities are good in relationship depending upon the particular area, but them vulnerable holistically when them a deal with relationship, and that's one of the things them know when make them can't select a good mate. So you realize that the role of a father are one of the most significant things. Nobody tell you nothing. I overstand say, yeah, mother and father are very, very effective to youth, but you see the role of a father in a black youth life is not where for undervalue, because we see time and time again where the missing father affect the whole family structure, and it's not just a one generation. It's a whole chain reaction of thing. And that want to really show the identity, you know?
All right, a powerful statement and a real truth, because even though men don't get acknowledged for what they do is priceless fire. Don't get it twisted. And I want to say again, even though men don't get acknowledged for what they do, respect to all the people out there on the daily grind, all the fathers out there, all the providers, all the nurturers, you know, they don't get acknowledged or appreciated. That's the term for what they do. But what they do is so vital for people's survival in this society, especially as a black person. But the point of this reasoning, to bring it full circle, is that you have to fully understand the environment that we're in and all the parts that play and what's going on before we just generalize certain things. I think that was the point of this reasoning, Farai, to say that, hey, yes, we have certain issues within our community, right? But the question is why? And another thing too, what can we do to improve it? That's what I've been noticing. We're very good at, well, I can't say we. Some are very good at identifying the issues within our community, right? But we never deal with any strategies in regards to what we can do to overcome them or avoid them. I've seen people break down the system and understand it, but still do the same things that helps the system suppress them. So it's like we'll march, right? We'll march and say Black Lives Matter and burn down the whole place. But those same people marching when marijuana was illegal will be in a car packed full of people smoking weed. Or you have a legal firearm. Like you need to avoid doing things that helps the system oppress you. Oh, they're not teaching us anything. That's the big thing, right? The system not teaching us anything. So with all this access here, why didn't you spend time to learn? If I'm clearly aware for all right, like, hey, these people are not teaching me something that I know, wouldn't it be foolish of myself to not go after it myself after I identified that these people are clearly not teaching me something that I need to know? A lot of commenters on Black relationships don't understand the social dynamics of why things are the way they are. At birth, there are more Black women than women. There are more Black men than women at birth in America. Between 18 and 36, things go downhill for Black men. Yes, we're not going to save all Black men, but there are things that can be done to help those that at least another Black woman will have a possible spouse that's functional, that can earn an income, that she can have a conversation with and have a support system with and have, if she, has kids, have a supportive father for her and the children. And one more thing I want to say, for all right, some men, you need to give back some of your time, Some progressive men, you need to give back some of your time, because the vibe is you're doing your thing. I don't like using the word successful too much, but you're successful within the tenets of society. You don't give anything back. And on another note, I know it's very hard to give back because the same people that you're trying to help give you the worst, the worst behavior. So that's part two, but like we need more people to give back. You don't need no big organization for it, just a little help, or even with your own kids, give back to them so they could grow up and be functional people in society. And for those that's not on no community vibe, I understand. Try it on with your individual thing. But if you're on the individual thing, I don't think you should be commenting on what's going on in the collective because it don't have nothing to do with you. If you on your one away, you don't want no family, you don't want no kids. But I don't think you should be commenting on the family and kids if you're not in that struggle, if you're not on that daily grind. I think you should just focus on YOLO or NOLO, whatever that is. I think NOLO. No, that makes sense. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. One of those, if you're on that tribe, just be on that tribe and comment on that tribe. If you can't find no man, all right, they're not out there. It's not for you. Just let them be. But you criticizing every day, not helping nothing.
That's the thing. That's the thing in the fire. Cause you see, this criticism thing get out of hand now, It's very, as what they say, So everybody that behind them computer screens, so it even make criticism level raise like ultra, ultra. But you see, when I feel like as Black people, there's certain things where we need to do for level the scale. You see me I say both Black men and Black women equally need to do them particular things. Yeah. So number one, formulate a strategy. Because I feel like when it comes to being strategic, Black people don't really have strategic tendencies with them practice. Me know say as ones and one, I say, oh, but me strategic now. We're not even just talk about them on the individual level. Talk about on a collective gear. We need to have more strategy itself too. And sometimes I feel like we was through some small differences. We broke up the whole strategy and said that this can't work because of these small differences. So we need to become more strategic if we're going to advance policy and level the scale. And then the second one, where on the show, you're supposed to tired for hear the word, don't it? Because the word that come like it, that irritate upon the show, accountability. Accountability. Because I tell you, I say, when it comes to accountability, as African people, especially in America, I realize that accountability live. They don't explain to already still, but let's try. Because when I say, una do things for get caught, and then I go say, oh, the system is rigged. We know the system designed the way that already, as they say. So why do it in a particular manner there, a particular means there for sure. What type of point you approve? Or you going prove a point to a particular system where it's more powerful than you within this particular time itself. If you're going to develop, you're more sidestep the system. So you definitely contribute towards the system through your lack of accountability. And then this third part now is where I feel like say from you have no farmer shade of darkness. You need to ensure say yeah follow this particular rule right now if you want to elevate. I tell you say the self-inflicted wound is where as a people we need to stop it for you because as a people I realize the majority of the wounds them we get some self-inflicted wounds. And it's like and then we come back down, see out of the reason them are tie up, the reason we just have I don't care, But it's coming back in a particular place, because I realize most of the people them I give a distance of I don't care, and I don't care is a self-inflicted wounds, and see because we don't care, we inflict ourselves even more and more and more, and we now see why this thing are dwindled down itself too, and then we know. Remember, say we don't say male disposable at large, So when self-inflicted wounds that take place, who you think it going affect more? Me know say it going affect a whole heap of woman, but it going affect the men them more because anything when negative itself, we have to doing the dwindling of population, That's no say males are gonna get it more than likely first, fire. So now we see how the self-inflicted wounds that affect the black man and make it more or less make him become more scarce too.
I want to touch on one last thing, Far. The spending habits. I know nobody want to talk about them. It's a big part of the whole structure and the whole thing. The spending habits, Fire, this yearning for certain things, for status, for you want to call self-worth, for acceptance that you can't afford. It's a terrible situation we're dealing with right now, Far. So yeah, people earn money, Far. Don't get it twisted. I don't want to be clear. You have a portion of society that don't earn enough to for anything. And this is not for them. This message is not for them. They just don't earn enough. This is for those who earn. Your spending habits are terrible. And also, this no, Fire, serious thing. Then also, you have to I don't say you have to understand what it is to invest in your child. Investing in your child is not buying the latest and the greatest because you're grooming that person to be insecure and a mindless consumer and dependent on exterior things for their self-worth. A lot of these parents collectively as black people across the continent, across the country of North America, our children are way below average in regards to their performance in reading and math. Take some of this money, Far Eye, or people listening, and spend it on a program or tutoring to increase your child's ability to read and do basic math. Get them on a level. Let them feel comfortable reading. Let them get confidence reading. If you don't have time to read with them, which is very important in the early stages, and the money's there, instead of buying $100-something shoe, cut it down to 50. Use the difference on tutoring or some type of educational support. We don't want to talk about this. This is extremely important for the future. We have to look at how we spend our money differently. And I think that's one of the most basic things you can do. Yeah, the child gonna feel away, but in regards to long term, it'd be better off because people are struggling with reading, they're struggling with basic math. And this is something you could do to be proactive instead of being reactive and blaming the teacher. Fire, that's the funniest thing to me with this blaming the teacher. How you gonna blame the teacher? The teacher just met this person when they're 16. So how am I the cause of the fact that they can't read? What was going on with you the whole time? But anyway, accountability. If there's any form of, or even if the credit card is there, you love charging stuff on your credit card. I'd rather work with some debt for some tutoring than for some vacation and sneakers or a restaurant, a bar, or partying. If you're gonna go into debt for that. So at least the child can have some skills to function and get things going and understand what they're reading. So that's just a recommendation. I know people don't want to hear it, but it's something to consider. Investing in the child, encouraging the child. And black men, black women, you have to be aware of our position in society, what's going on. I remember my mom's always say, "Where's the black?" My mom, she in Jamaica, she say it all the time. She says she go out, she don't see no black men. I want to tell you a joke. I was in supermarket in Autarchii. I forgot the name, right? I was at the cash register. It was like, you ever see these movies and it's like these scenes that's like things are weird. It was like a movie fire. It was me and another man was the only people in the supermarket. Imagine that. And there wasn't no empty supermarket. It was a supermarket. All right, the shopping center there. Oh man, not in Ochi, in Montego Bay. Um, anyway, I'm in a supermarket there. But anyway, yeah, it was just me and my was wow. Like, like you used to be somewhere like everybody's an alien or everybody's an animal or something. It was just like all women. So where are the men? How much functions do I go to as a black person? Or I'm the only man? And everybody who have a man, he not there. So I don't know what's going on. Everybody say they got a man, but I ain't see him.
Black man, them they not the trap house. Yeah, it will laugh and say enough of them things are still in about. I'm tell the people all the time, You see, being a youth we come from the street and see certain things in the street. I feel like it more require you to speak on them type of issues, yeah, because a lot of people don't see it from the realistic standpoint, but we see it from the farmer standpoint, as in, as I say, you can go on event or on function same way, as well as we can go and see the other side of the world to see how one of the ones them I live. And I feel like said the ones them expectations, them have so much different expectations, but them expectations are themselves. A whole heap of black man, I say the expectation of themselves. It's so low, it's not even funny for you. It's so low where them where majority of the black males them think of themselves. So and it make you start to wonder like why them think of themselves, which we don't know. We mentioned so much of the different factors them, why them think of themselves. But I feel like say, especially the accountability part is where we need to cling on to even tighter. I want them for overstand say it, in order. I know we have to fulfill them. No, we have to fulfill this purpose reasoning, because knowing your purpose, I feel like one of the main solutions them to getting towards that itself. So I feel like we have to save the part there for the reasoning there, but the expectation of ones have for themselves is so low. The self-esteem itself is not there. So we feel like it lead majority of the black man them for go out there go do anything what them want for do, knowing say it already people already expect them to do this. So if it's not welcome as the out of the box type of situation.
But fire, this last thing I want to say, it's a snowball effect, because it's like, all right, manhood in America, even though things may be shifting in regards to opportunities for certain sexes, the core idea is still the same. Manhood in America is based on your ability to generate income, right? So if you can't generate income, therefore you're not a man, according to society standards. Now society is set. It is listen. It is very hard, right? I want to reword this too. It is difficult. It is difficult for black men to generate an income, a livable wage, or exceeding a livable wage. A lot of it starts with they say your zip code. Your zip code plays a big problem because the education you receive, you're so far behind. And between mentioning what you said, lack of confidence, lack of exposure, it's just not a good situation, right? So if you can't generate an income, and the woman now that you're supposed to be generates the income, doesn't that create a schism in the house? Because the woman is not thinking or understanding that why you can't generate an income. She just knows that based on societal standards, you're supposed to either make more or at least equal to her. And that's just not the environment that we're in. So it just that alone just creates an issue in the household. Because I know initially.
If I ask you a question to
Right.
cut there, come one day add to this, but in regards to they talk about a black man and a black woman in the same household, but the black man not generate. But what happened to a black man where now generate the income and him don't live with him we call it partner, we don't say baby mother, other co-parents, see? Him don't what happened to the black man in the example, you know. How is that situation carried out? Because remember when in the same house, you know, that's what I say. One can know say him can substitute that and if him cook more or what. But the man we don't live in the same house as the woman and the child, and him not have income and generate, him substituting, there's not really a substitute. So,
Nah,
I see the
fight.
situation there. Oh, that women for ask there.
No, that wouldn't sound like a rough situation unless there's a maturity there in regards to the parents involved, where there would be things done where the child's with him. But even so, like if you're not generating income, I don't know his living situation and what he's able to provide. That sounds like a tricky situation. It seems like you gotta look into himself and get himself together. Truth be told. Because even if it's in the house, as you said, it's different. But if you're not in the house now, it becomes a terrible situation. Because even living situation, he doesn't have sustainable living. So as a parent, why would you want the child there if this man don't have sustainable living or sustainable income? So it get real tricky. Tell you the truth, yeah. It get real tricky. And the only advice I could give to the ladies out there is that you need to tone down who you're sharing yourself with. You really need to tone it down and stop going into things with this expectation that people are going to change or you're going to change that person. This person is over 18, 20, 25, 30 years old. They have perfected their behaviors and they're very consistent. That's one thing I say about people, yeah. Pretty consistent, right? And for some reason, we want to deny the consistency of their behaviors, especially when it comes to relationships. The whole street full of red flags and you don't see nothing, you're looking up everywhere else because you just feel that nah, that's not the case. But it is the case. If you're with a man and this man has not had consistent employment, why do you think he's gonna get it for you? Why do you think you're so, maybe it's a delusion? Why do you think you're so special that this man all of a sudden is gonna just change the characteristics that's coded in his DNA for you? Dude has a crazy temper problem, right? That probably turns you on. That's what you're attracted to, right? Fighting and arguing and all this. So you gonna cut it off? You not gonna get none of that. You're not gonna get none of that flavor.
Yeah, cause that's
Fire.
the
It's
norm.
just
Mm-hmm.
it's just a delusion, fire. But we just encourage everyone before you go out there criticizing, understand the dynamics of the situation that we're in within this society, within this space, within this time, and have more compassion for both sides. And everyone's it's just a rough situation being a black person in America. It is what it is. We are very resilient. We'll continue the resilience, and I encourage everyone to continue the resilience. I know it's a hard thing. The resilience that we have to demonstrate becomes an issue with your mental health. That's why it's very important to check up. Try your best to eat properly. Try your best to get some rest. Stay positive. Stay away from the negative news. But you can't go bashing men and bashing women because the thing is so complicated, right? There are a lot of factors going into our situation, so we can't just like put each other down like that. But I just want to know for the ladies that, hey, one of the reasons people talk about like finding men is that there are not a lot of men out there from a number standpoint. Just to start with, there's not even good men or bad men. There's just literally not enough men out there. It's just not. So you need to act accordingly. And if you do have a good man, you need to hold on tight. Because if you lose that one and the replacement not there, what's the sister? What's the song? Sister got replaceable Beyonce, a big hit. A lie is foolishness, yo. From you is borderline impossible unless you just you're in a real situation. Because as the men get older, then too, what I noticed too with a lot of men is that I never understood it when I was younger, but after they've been through a relationship or they had a divorce, right, they kind of done. They're not going back out there like that in regards to committed relationships. They may date here or there, but they don't want to settle down with no one again.
Oh, fire! Say they mentioned the song that it just strike a bell in my brain too. Because when she said I can have another you in a minute, that is based off supposed beauty standards, and status, So you see you see it full circle. The right song that they're using, because that is the beauty standard status. She has, all right, she can have another you, because if you did in a relationship and the relationship did take a while to build, so the person like, the person dislike, vice versa. You feel like, so you can just have another one, a version of that person just like that. So you see, That are one thing when we get for overstand, say a lot of females judge themselves based off of how them look on the outward and know say majority of males just a try flat them. So you see, them feel like say them always in the position for win. And then once them tell themselves say them always in the position for win when it comes to relationship because them have the upper hand already. It's like it give them an ego boost, and the ego boost it give them now start take them out a spiral, make them go in a spiral way now, and so comes now the things start diminish, you know.
All right, I don't want to stretch out the reasoning, right? But you keep bringing up stuff, so I have to add it. Some of my younger brethren been telling about these dating apps, right? Because I obviously it seems like the norm is not to just talk to someone in public anymore. It's a dating thing. And Instagram. What this has done is distorted their view so much because the men showing interest are only interested in sex. They're not interested in any long-term relationship. They're interested in sex. So they're taking that interest and kind of substituting that for a long-term interest in sex. Regards to the beauty and all that, that dwindle away, fire. That prime is not the prime for a woman, especially for a woman that doesn't take care of herself. Now, you got women take care of herself, right? And they look good, 40, 50, some 60. But the prime for the average woman is very short because they don't take care of themselves. You don't eat properly. You don't sleep. Meditation off. And it's just like you're not for the eye. You won't be appealing that long.
Oh,
And there's a
fire we are talking about in the dolly age. Yes, you say. Yeah, that's why them have become the dolly them because
hold
them are staying in them prime forever.
well, and one more thing, far right. This whole even the whole concept of like, back to what you're saying with the replaceable is like I think they don't understand that the pool is much shorter than what they think. I think a lot of women think that two things I want to mention. One, Beyonce is saying that song because she has a look and she has money. So maybe she can gain another mate. Maybe that's the reality for her. But the reality to the women listening to that song is not the case. Right. And also they're not acknowledging like the numbers we presented earlier, where it's just like as you get older, they're just not a lot of men. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what else to say, like women may have to go to maybe that's the reason women are going to other races or going to other women. I don't know what's going on far right? But the thing is that they're not realistic about the pool that they think that they have. I think that's the source of the thing. They're not clearly understanding that there are not a lot of men out here. And we understand the system, this and that. But the thing from a woman's perspective, that not a lot of it's a harsh reality to deal with within our society. And what's the term they use? I don't know if they use suitable. We didn't mention that today. I don't know if it's suitable or backs or whatever. But a man for a relationship. First of all, not a lot of men. Period. But a man for a relationship is just not a lot of them. It is what it is. So like maybe black women need to start earlier. Like back in the days. No, for real, because this waiting thing is not working out for them. Because as I said, you have those who just want to be by themselves for the rest of their lives. But for those who start off on that path, things change. They get tired of the nightlife. They get tired of the multiple partners. They get tired of the travel. That's the big thing. Everybody want to travel all the time. They get tired of it, right? And they want someone to talk to, someone to support them, someone to share their life with. That come like that ship over, fire. Then when that ship go to sea, they want to just criticize and this and that. But it's just like, wow, this man was, approaching you for a long-term thing. You wanted other things. He's with somebody. He's in a stable relationship. He's been married 5, 10, 15 years now. So it's just like I don't know, it's a lot of stuff to consider, man. It's a lot of and I don't know if we even did justice in this short time covering it because there's so much stuff to cover. It really is, and we just trying to. I just want to emphasize, the numbers are off. Like the numbers are real. Unemployed, unemployable, uh, the prison thing, and with prison fire right. We always talk about who's in prison. We don't talk about who's out of prison. They just love focusing on that million that are in prison. But what are all those that have been to the system and the trauma that they have? They're not suitable to be in a relationship with anybody. They're destroyed mentally and spiritually. A lot of them. PTSD to the max. Military. How much black men that go into the military fight? They're not suitable. Not all. I don't know. Military people get all excited with me, but a lot suffer through a lot. And what is it? I think police and military have the highest rates of registered physical abuse, from what I understand.
Yeah.
It's around. I know police up there. Police may be number one. So it's just like those who get in certain positions to earn those positions destroy them to where they can't be a good mate or a good family person because that job strips them of all the characteristics to do it. And the person you have to be to do it successfully doesn't translate to family life. That's the next conversation you need to have. These occupations, right? Some occupations, like you just need to be by yourself. There's just too much stress. Just be by yourself because it's a waste of time. I think that with athletes and high performing people, these women are foolish. So why are you around this person? What do you expect this person to do? No, really, like what are you expecting from this person? This person doesn't have an average. This person's under a very high stress situation daily. They're not gonna be patting you on your back, and they may be patting you upside your head when they get angry, but they're not gonna be patting you on your back and doing all these things that you saw on TV shows. I just rather you go into the relationship with a realistic expectation. I just want the bread, bro. I want the bread. Deal with whatever's needed to get the bread, but don't complain. Don't go try to put this man down for him doing something that he's not capable of doing. He's paid for aggression. Or he's paid to be performing at a very level um at a high level that doesn't train. He can't turn it down when he comes in the house, or he doesn't have time to be in the house to maintain what he's doing or to maintain that high level of his craft. So that always mind boggles me, specifically with athletes and like CEOs and stuff. If you know this man is traveling damn near 90% of the year, what type of family life are you looking for outside of holidays to take pictures? Or an athlete, NBA, 82 games, NFL. Like, why would you marry an NFL player? They got to be so turned up. How do you turn that down in your daily life? I think it's unfair. A boxer, the man has to, you know how focused you have to be and endurance to be in a ring in front of people by yourself, dodging punches at split seconds, trying to take somebody's heads off. And when you leave, now you're just supposed to be this calm, caring person. I don't think it's realistic. I know that's a different part, but I don't think people need a realistic approach to who they're with. You know, men want these high CEO women. So when you gonna see a fire, she's a CEO. Those the characteristics she has does not transfer into a relationship. You looking for her to be some traditional nurturing woman, and that's not what she does. Why you just can't accept what she does? Then now, oh, woman rolling out. It's fire like to do what she does. This is what's needed, and like I don't see her turning that off because whatever.
Them not really see them not see the relationships as being unique. It's like a one size fit all business relationships, and that are the thing where it kind of mash up the relationship them more, and find out that you our people them tend to watch TV even more. Them always have the TV expectations of relationship. So that are the next part where I play to you because nobody know watch TV like black people. I tell you that.
All
I tell
right,
you that.
I like that one. Stop using TV as your all right. Make sure you write that down. You know, stop using TV as your expectations for relationships. Yeah, I'm gonna write that down. What people we give thanks for tuning in, man. Hopefully you get a better perspective in regards to the demographics of our community, both education, employment, and how it just affects everything and like certain things I'm sure we don't have the full answer, right? But hopefully we highlighted some things for you to have a different perspective and look at things definitely say, man, that is the case, man. Like, man, I notice like, yo, I don't see certain people this and that, or after a certain age is this and that, because it's just like there are not a lot of men to start with. Yes, at birth, after 18 in America, black men start black teen, whatever you teens, that'd be a teen, start missing. they start missing, they start missing. We didn't even touch on like health, how the society on the whole is just unhealthy for black people, specifically black men. the depression, you know, the bad eating habits and all that. You got people dropping dead at 22. Hypertension, diabetes, high cholesterol, 23, 24, 25. You know, so all right, we give thanks for the reason. We give thanks for everyone tuning in. We give thanks for the support. And we appreciate it if you would, you know, share the reasoning if you feel it's shareable, you feel it's on the heights. Also Far Right there has this EP, Disrupting the Status Quo, in the description. Music video, Freedom in Africa. Also, make sure you check us out, WLOY.org. And make sure you support us at Conscious T. New shorts coming soon. And I'll notify you when you are there. Also, people, make sure you sign up to the email list so you don't miss out on what's going on.